And what's up, everybody? Back with another episode of the Live, Laugh, Left podcast. Look at that. I got it right. I got it right. I did it.
Yes, you did.
This is Live, Laugh, Left podcast episode number 105. It's the second one of our season. Third one of our season, maybe. No, second one of the season. As we still are getting back into the swing of things. Got a lot to go over. The Clash, as in the books, we're going to talk all about that. Went down at the Madhouse, Bowman Gray. I went to Kroger the other night, and there were 3 new pop flavors that weren't Mountain Dew. So I picked them up. We're going to be trying them subsequently, the next 3 episodes, including this one. So I've got the first of those 3 with me. We're going to try today. And we got a lot of other news to go over. Overflow news from the off season that we didn't get the chance to cover because we recorded last episode a little early because I was running out of room in my character limit, and that was pissing me off. But we got some overflow stuff plus some other stuff that's come out. And then, of course, we will preview the duels. We will actually preview them, unlike last episode when I said we were going to preview the Clash and then didn't.
Yeah, I actually thought about that. I was like, why did we not do a poker chip?
Because I'm stupid and I forgot. But we're not going to forget tonight.
I'll go get them now.
I also did put in here potentially giving a review of the new NASCAR channel that came out on Tubi. Unfortunately, I've not had a chance to actually watch anything on that channel yet. So I planned on doing that, and then I got busy and forgot. So we'll save that for a future episode. I do want to give it a watch, though, at least see what they've got going on. But before we do anything else, I'm thirsty. So we're going to try new pop today. Like I said, there were 3 new ones. So we'll do 1 this episode, 1 next episode, and 1 the episode after that. Should be pretty exciting. And that will be the first one up today. Drum roll, please. Tropical 7-Up. I know it's still winter time, and everybody's probably cold and depressed and gloomy and cold. But maybe this will help us wake up a little bit. Some tropical stuff. It just says tropical flavored soda with other natural flavors. What could that be? Let's find out. It's good to have a restocked fridge as well. Let's give it a sniff. It smells pretty good. Nothing crazy. Has more of a reddish color to it, which is a little weird. But here we go. 3, 2, 1. That is good. That is pretty good. Has a peach taste to it, which is weird for a choice, in my opinion. Along with like the lemon lime of 7-Up. But honestly, for a tropical flavor, it's got the fruity taste. It's very refreshing. Not bad. I give it a 6. It's my score. So, anyway, got that out of the way. Time to talk about some NASCAR stuff. So, we're going to talk about the Clash. There was a lot of hype going into this race because if it being at Bowman Gray, the Madhouse, a lot of people were very excited about that. It was in an actual racetrack and not a football stadium that put some temporary asphalt down to have them race on. and whatnot. So it was very, very interesting how it was going to work. But let's get one thing out of the way right now. Fox still sucks. Clint Boyer is still annoying. Kevin Harvick is trying to act like a fucking 13-year-old kid when he's damn near 50. Doesn't work. It's cringe as hell. And Mike Joyce this just there, counting the days till retirement. The camera angles were terrible. There was, during the last chance qualifier, they, I don't remember who the guy was. We'll talk about this a little bit later, but I guess I'll just mention it right now. But it was Burt Myers, I think was his name. Local short track legend around the Charlotte, or the Winston-Salem area. Everybody was very excited for him to attempt this race. He was doing okay until he got punted out of the way by Recky Spinhouse during the last chance qualifier and hit the wall hard. And they were doing an interview with him, and it was going well. And then they're like, "Well, I don't really know." He was like, "I don't really know how to gauge this without seeing a replay." So they show him a replay. They show him possibly the worst camera angle they could have possibly shown him. You can't see anything happen with this camera angle. Nothing at all. To me, it felt like a slap in the face. They would have been better off not showing him a replay at all. Just leaving him completely in the dark instead of showing him something, but it actually ended up being nothing. That was completely stupid. I cannot believe that they chose that when there were several other camera angles that showed had the wreck in a much better angle that they showed before they interviewed him. They had them at the ready, and they went out and picked that one out of all of them. That was an insult. Yeah. Anyway, Fox still sucks.
Fox will always suck.
Going past that, I didn't watch much of the heat races. I was out of town and got over the weekend, came back around dinner time on Sunday, so I was able to watch I watched the second half of the last chance qualifier, and then I watched the whole main event. I did not watch any of the heats. I saw some highlights though. They looked pretty good. Last chance qualifier was a barn burner. Typical what you would expect for Bowman Gray, and really any short track race in general. It felt very much like a local short track race that we would go see during the summertime. You go like a lap or two, and then there was a wreck. You go like a lap or two, and then there was a wreck. There was heated tempers. There was, a wreck or two, mostly just regular spins. Cars were beat up like crazy, and fighting to the death at the end, which was especially in the last chance qualifier. The heats, there was some elements of that from what I could see, but nothing else super crazy. There was some really weird use of the highline from what I noticed as well. With these local short tracks, they're flat, and you only want to run the bottom, because that's the most ideal line. Seems simple enough. But during the races, it felt like they were going a lot more with the top line, and it was working for a lot of drivers that tried to utilize it, which I thought, in a way, it kind of decreased the amount of potential for wrecks, especially in the Clash, which we'll get to a little bit later. But it definitely helped for some more competitive racing. Throughout especially on restarts, I felt too. So it was nice. Like I said earlier, Burt Myers had a hard wreck. Really hard hit, really, for a quarter-mile track. A little bit later, Ty Gibbs got spun and retaliated by literally jumping over, I think it was Austin Dillon. I don't remember who the fuck it was, but I don't remember who the fuck wrecked him.
I think it was Haley.
Haley. Yeah, it was Justin Haley. That's right.
I was, for some reason, I thought in my head he was still the number 77, so that's why I was trying to think, okay, who drives the 77? Who drives the 77? But then I forgot that Corey LaJoy bamboos. So,
Good. Yeah, you got Eric Jones. Looked like he was going to advance, but then he got spun from the lead late, which opened the door for Kyle Larson to win the last chance qualifier and Josh Berry to also advance to the main event. In his new ride, the Wood Brothers ride. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, that's really all I got to say about the last chance qualifier, though. Again, I only saw about the second half, so it wasn't anything super crazy, but I thought it was a barn burner. Lots of spins, tempers, great race. And it gave some pretty cool hype for the Clash. And, but what happened in the Clash? Kyle Busch went around early. This seems like it's going to be another very disappointing year for the 8 team. Kyle Busch just did not look like he was fully in the race tonight at any point, which was ultimately disappointing. I know he's not necessarily known for being a really good short track racer, but I expected him to put up a little bit more of a fight, and he didn't.
he's a short track racer. He's raced good at Bristol, but I mean, like, not like what they were racing.
William Byron spun closer to midway through. Kyle Larson and Chase Briscoe did some synchronized spinning, which was pretty cool. Carson Hocevar took a hard hit, but he was able to continue because it's a short track and they weren't going that fast. Byron and Larson both spun again right after that on a restart. Brad Keselowski also had a rough day. He went around for a spin that eventually, in the chain reaction, collected Alex Bowman and Carson Hocevar again. So it was a pretty rough night for Carson Hocevar as well. Up front, there really wasn't much challenging for the lead. There was towards like the midway point before they... Okay, another thing I really want to fucking abolish with the Clash. It's a quarter-mile track, and they run 200 laps. That's 50 fucking miles. Do we really need a halftime? Do we really need a halftime? What the fuck?
Is that a football stadium?
Like in LA, it made somewhat sense because they had somebody perform during it, even if it was shit. At least they had something. Here, what the fuck? I'm gonna be very hypocritical here in a little bit, but that right before that lap 100 break was when we really saw the lead being challenged for the first time. Chase Elliott had by far the best car, started on the pole, dominated the race, but right around that halftime break was when he started to get challenged for the lead. But then he only lost a couple spots. They go to the caution, they readjust. He takes the lead back early on and does not look back. Second half, he did not have some of that same fall off as he did in the first half, and it led to him winning. Woo! Let's go. I'm happy with the Chase Elliott win, as always.
Seems like, Hendrick said, 24, 48, 5, you're not going to get a fast car tonight. What, Chase?
No, really, I mean, all the other guys were caught up in incidents, too, which didn't help, but, Kyle Larson's car was already half wrecked before it even started the race because of how the last chance qualifier went. But yeah, Elliott put on a very dominant race. By far led the most laps. In the second half, he really was not challenged once he took the lead, which was pretty early on. And he did a cool burnout, too, right in the football field, in the middle there, at the end. So that was cool. and a good way to get the year started, because the last couple of years have not been great as Chase Elliott fans. But this year is off to a much, much better start. And I will add, as Chase Elliott, by the way, fitting enough, he's the 9th driver to be locked into the New Year's Eve Spectacular now this year. He's the first to get in not on a Champions Provisional, so that's pretty cool. Obviously, Chris Buescher, Joey Logano, AJ Allmendinger, Kyle Busch, Kyle Larson, Jimmy Johnson, Brad Keselowski, and Martin Truex will all be using their Champions Provisionals if needed, while Chase Elliott gets in with a win. So we're currently up to 9 drivers in that event to kick off the season. But yeah, about the Clash itself, I 100% did think it was an improvement. Not just because Chase Elliott won, obviously. But I thought, number one, the racing product, while not great in the main event, was better. And I thought, it's the same size track, but I felt like there was more racing grooves than there was in LA. I thought that they could do more of what they wanted to do. It felt more like short track racing. Whereas in LA, it felt kind of just like a big traffic jam. And it was fabricated, and it probably was fabricated. Who gives a fuck, I guess. But here, it felt like more of what we would want from a quarter-mile short track race, and it was a lot of fun to see. And the fans made it that much better. I mean, the stands were packed. Even though Bowman Gray is obviously a lot smaller of a capacity than the LA Coliseum, having it more crowded and more like fans that pay attention and love the racing a lot more because they're in North Carolina and everything, which I think really, really helped the environment of the race. I think everybody really loved it. At least it seemed like everybody loved it. And obviously, it helps when a very popular driver, Chase Elliott, wins. But yeah, I thought overall it was much of a success. And if they go back to Bowman Gray next year for the Clash, I think it would 100% work. I think I said it before, Bowman Gray would not work for a points race. It's too small, too compact. But for an exhibition race, it does the job, and I think the fans would love it. So.
I honestly feel like Bowman Gray should be an all-star race. In a way. Not taking out North Wilkesboro, of course. Put North Wilkesboro as the Clash, and put the all-star race as Bowman Gray. That, or put Hickory Motor Speedway, or trying to think of another one or Berlin, those tracks, because, and I got all this off what Kevin Harvick said on his podcast. He said all this too. If you do that, because the SRX series had a lot of people for those races. So, I mean, put one of those as the Clash, and then put Bowman.
Okay, so I don't know what the hell happened there. OBS just crashed randomly. Thank God the file was saved. So, don't have to restart. But, Gary, pick up where you left off.
That Hickory or Berlin should be a part of the Clash, because they got more fans out there for the SRX series. And who knows? Maybe the All-Star race. Maybe someday, Tyler. Just think about it. Owasso Speedway All-Star Race. I mean, they're building a spotter stand, so I mean,
I definitely think out of all the local tracks around here, at least with all the local tracks around here, I think the Owasso Speedway would be the best equipped. But I don't see that happening. At least right now.
I mean, I'd see probably like a K&N modified series would go there, but
right. Anyway, that's a Clash. It was a success. So, yay! We can put it in the books
for the first time this year.
Alright, so I already got the drink review out of the way. Thank God, I would have had to do that again and the file had not been saved. At that point, I probably would have just tried a different drink. And anyway, we don't have to worry about that. Like I said earlier, I was planning on reviewing the NASCAR channel, but I did not get a chance to watch it yet, so I'll try and have that ready for next episode. So we'll keep that in the back burner for now. Let's get to some silly season news. We talked about him earlier, Corey LaJoie. He is going to be attempting the Daytona 500 and a few other races this season for Rick Ware Racing. Corey LaJoie is one of the last Cup drivers from last season to now finally get a ride for this year. That was one of the free agents. Not the best selection, but you know what? Probably the best that he can get with how he performed on the track last year.
What, is he going to start in Park Daytona?
Possibly.
Just taking a Rick Ware.
And get ready for this. Get ready for this car, okay?
Oh God.
His number is 01. The first time that the 01 car has been in NASCAR since 2007, I believe.
Yeah, because it was, I think, Regan Smith that was riding that car.
Yeah. But here's why he's running the 01. Because of his podcast. Stacking pennies. That's right, we're broke, Garry.
Well, this is my last podcast for everyone today. So, pack it up. No, but honestly, I need.
Yeah.
Damn it. Why does he do this?
Stacking Pennies podcast with Corey LaJoie and gets the 01 car. Quite wild. Let's be real here. Yeah, that was an insane development. He's gonna suck in the car regardless. The worst team in NASCAR paired with one of the worst drivers in the Cup Series is a combination for tank division all the way through.
I mean, he was good at. You know what? Yeah, you're right. He does suck.
Ew.
I was going to say he was good at Atlanta, but then he decided to try to wreck Chase Elliott for the win. Really didn't work out very well for him.
True.
You don't wreck the most popular driver in NASCAR.
In his hometown, no less.
Correct.
Speaking of Corey LaJoie, he and Danielle Trotta will be in the broadcast booth for the Amazon Prime races.
That's what I think of that. John.
Jimmy Johnson is now the majority owner of Legacy Motor Club. I don't know if that will change anything, but he is.
Probably because Richard Petty doesn't know what company he owns anymore.
True.
Maybe his dementia is getting very, very bad.
True. 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 Um, some very sad, and quite shocking news as well that we found out recently, but actually happened a while ago. Bill Weber died. He was 67. Apparently, he passed away back in December, about 2 months ago now. He passed away apparently, but it wasn't reported on until a couple of weeks ago, for whatever reason. Probably just out of privacy. But Bill Weber's been out of the sport for a while. He hasn't done a whole lot since TNT left NASCAR. I think he, in fact, left before TNT did. But it's a really sad death. I liked Bill Weber as a pit reporter and everything. Great voice for the sport and everything. So it is really sad that he is gone. And rest in peace, buddy. The playoff format they're considering changing the fucking playoff format again. This would take effect not this year, but in 2026. Can we just please stop with all the formalities and just go back to basics? Please. Please.
What are they going to change the way the car has to go? Meow.
True. We'll save that one for later. That is a funny one that I have yet to actually see. And more big news: Xfinity is leaving as a title sponsor after this season. This is the last year of the NASCAR Xfinity Series.
Thank
Xfinity
God.
will be staying on as a premier sponsor, and they are going to be the leaders in a new points grab. New points grab, where you get a bonus point for leading the most laps. So they're bringing that back. That used to be a thing. You used to get 5 points for leading the most laps. Now you only get 1. But point values have also changed since, that wasn't changed.
Now that I'm thinking about it, now it's really turning into F1. Think about it. The tires are just one lug. And that. And also, it's about to turn electric. NASCAR's turning into F1. That's why I watch IndyCar now.
True.
Correct, it is true.
Interstate Batteries signed a multi-year extension with Joe Gibbs Racing. Partnership that will be heading into, as past it's over 30 years long now, which is kind of insane. And Ross Chastain's going to be in a Super Bowl ad for Busch. In fact, the ad's already been out there. It's one of the Busch guide ads. The guy's just standing there. It's like, to avoid going in a circle, take note of massive landmarks. And then camera cuts over to Ross Chastain camping on top of his car in the woods. It's wild.
I have not seen it. I can't wait to see it Sunday when I watch the two teams that I hate the most play.
They started airing it during the Clash. I think they'll have a more extended version for the Super Bowl, but yeah. A bit odd, seeing that we got a Super Bowl ad with Ross Chastain in it before we got Busch Light Watermelon. When is that coming? Anyway.
Literally, when is that coming?
One more. We got one more piece of news. Last episode, we talked about when Jimmy Johnson challenged Shaq to a free throw contest. Guess what? Guess what? It happened. They did it. Where's the video? I haven't watched the video yet. We're going to watch it right now.
I smell Jimmy.
You smell fear.
Dr. Shaquille O'Neal.
Pause that real quick.
Come on, Jimmy.
Marty Smith's an official.
Little early, buddy.
Sorry, I'm excited.
I love how the first thing Jack says is, I smell Jimmy.
To settle here.
There's no beef, Jimmy.
Oh my God.
You're just swerving out of your lane.
Look at the height difference.
I think a free throw contest.
Look at the height difference.
What's the bet?
If I win, I design your car.
All right, only if I win, I get to design what you wear.
Deal.
All right, here we go. Gentlemen, first 1 to 5 wins.
Oh boy.
Yes, please.
All right. I don't miss, Jimmy.
Reese was on the board in a hurry.
No.
He said go up.
Yeah, but don't cross the line.
What is Jimmy Johnson wearing?
I'm sorry.
I look good.
Oh my God.
Oh, Shaq's feeling it.
You should consider a career in the NBA.
Oh, man. Oh,
Ah, that was close.
Shaq 2, Jimmy 1.
Found this.
Ah, Shaq bricked one.
Alrighty then.
Yes. That a boy. 2-2.
2-2.
Oh, the door is open.
Wow.
Oh, my. Ladies and gentlemen, an upset is in the making. Pressure.
I'm not worried about that.
3-3. Shaq's
Right, I'm not worried about that.
Do you ever feel like somebody's watching you?
Oh, after 5, it's 3-3.
No, it keeps going left.
All right, we'll do it.
I don't think that's going to help anything. Ladies and gentlemen, no longer is the 1980 Miracle on Ice the greatest upset in the history. Didn't you go first?
It's 4-3. First 1 to 5.
Good prep on your speech, sir, Marty.
Don't count your chickens before they hatch. Are you not entertained?
Oh, here we go.
Miss, you die. You're not gonna make it. Daryl,
He said Daryl Earnhardt did.
get him out of here. What's wrong?
No, Shaq won.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
Jimmy, I got so many ideas. I can already picture the paint scheme, the wheels, and I'll tell you what, Jimmy, I'll even wear your little one piece.
Oh, really?
You already had it made?
Yeah.
I love you, Jimmy.
Shaq's got his own fire suit.
Wait a minute. Oh no. Oh no, Jeffofthemellows is now going to watch and hear Shaq say one. God dang it. I can't get away from that.
So Shaq won. So Shaq gets to design a car for Jimmy Johnson to drive. And Shaq might wear the uniform, which is wild. So that is the conclusion of that beef.
Well, at least Johnson did win.
What? Huh?
So at least Johnson didn't win.
True. That's all I had for news on my end. I don't know if you had anything else, Garry.
No.
Well, with that in mind, let's actually do a preview this time. We're going to preview the duels. We're going back to Daytona for the duels. To really kick off the season. It should be good. 2 races. Lots of good pack racing. Maybe some big wrecks. Maybe not. Who knows? But it should be fun. There's going to be, there's a lot of there's a lot more drivers than there has been recently, trying to get into the Daytona 500. So it's going to be some actual real stakes to this event for drivers to try and qualify, which is something we've been missing for the last few years. But it's going to be really interesting to see how that plays out, and hopefully we can evaluate some good contenders for the win. For the win on the actual day for the 500 as well, so should be really good. Now we don't exactly know who's going to be in it yet, who's going to be in what duel, but we can still pick winners, and if they're both in the same race, then so be it. Who gives a fuck? So let's pick duel winner number 1. Are you keeping track of the standings again this year? Are we doing that?
I'm going to. But it's going to start at the Daytona 500.
That's fair.
What?
That's fair because if one person is at a disadvantage because their drivers are both in the same race, that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah. I'm going to go with Justin Allgaier.
Ooh, for a dual win? Ooh.
Yes.
I'm going to pick, unfortunate, this is going to be a very unfortunate. I am going to pick Joey Logano to win the duel. It'll be very hard to pick against him, even though I hate his ass.
Joey Logano. Ha 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 ha. Ha ha, I cheated my way to the championship. Ha ha ha.
And then who do you think is gonna win the second duel?
Or you enjoy? I don't know. I don't even know who's in the fucking duel. I wonder if they actually put it up. Let me look that up.
I'm picking Martin Truex because it would be fun, feel good, see him win. So that's who I'm picking.
I don't know who it is. We'd like to know who's in that qualifying race.
Never know how.
It was built in 1958.
True.
Like, who won the first Daytona? Let's see. Let's not say who it is. I'm gonna look it up to see who actually was in it. But in the comments below, know who won the first Daytona.
But anyways, unless you had anything else to say, Gary, that's all I got.
Nope.
Well, that does it, guys. That's going to do it for this episode of the Live, Laugh, Left podcast. I got it. I'm not going to mess up anymore. Tell you that right now. Next episode, we will review the duels. Yes, we are going to review them. To make sure, going to review them. And then quickly turn around and preview the 500. We'll talk about other news as well. Hopefully I've watched some of the NASCAR channel by then. And I will also try to... we'll also try another one of the pop flavors that I've bought now. So it should be very good, very interesting. So, without otherwise, guys, that's going to do it for this video. Stay tuned for much more amazing content. And until next time, we'll see you guys later. Goodbye.